Okay, let's add a couple of new bits to our little project. So in the struct or the class, we're going to add a level and we're also going to add a countdown. I'm not sure why I typed player 1, that's because I was reading something else on a different screen. Ah, dear oh dear. Something like that, and then in here we're going to add player 1 dot level equals 1, and we're also going to add player countdown not 60, I'm just going to do 5. Okay, now we're going to move down past our where we did our if statements. Let's make a little bit of room, and then from here we're going to, the first one we're going to do is a switch case statement, which is really useful. This has lots of uses. Yeah, that'll do for now. A switch on, I don't know where that come from. That wasn't what I had in mind. I have more in mind of level. Better put a closing bracket on there, and then what you can do then, we don't need that, so we'll send that down there out the way a minute. Case 1, and yep, that'll do for that. And then we can do case, oh, we have to do break, nearly forgot that, and case 2, and break, and case 3. Okay, and then default at the end of that. Oh, I know, can see what we've done there. We can see what I've done there. Silly mistake. Let's just move that across so it looks a little bit prettier. Okay, so there we go. So we've set the level to 1, so it should print out the first message here, because case will be 1, so this will be 1, so it should come through to it should print out player is at level 1. Take a few seconds to load up and run, and then after this we're going to do the while loop, because we're going to need to be able to do a while loop. And here we go, player is at level 1, so that's working. We can check that if we wanted to, simply by altering that, say to let's alter that to level 3 and retest that again just to make sure it is working. There we go, player is at level 3. And the next thing we can do, we've also put in up here our countdown, So let's do a countdown with a while loop, which is also essential pretty much for every project you do. So there we go. No, I don't want true in there. We want player one dot countdown, and then we're going to say greater than 0. This is the greater sign, so more than 0. And then we can simply do in here log info, or log trace, it doesn't matter which one we do, countdown minus minus, and then you could, I suppose, after that you could put a message on there of info countdown is finished. There we go. So that should give us a I can't remember what I set the number to at the top. 5 4 3 2 1. There we go. 5 4 3 2 1. Countdown is finished. Isn't that clever? Also ever so colourful, isn't it? I'm glad we set that log program up. Okay, that's that one. We can do one more yet, which is a very similar type thing. We can do a thing called a do loop. So we can do something like this, which is, that will give us, actually that isn't how I was going to set that up, but I was going to set that up, let me not do it that way, because that's not the way I was going to set that up. So what we can do is above here we can simply do in I, and then in the thing here we can go do loop will loop through, and then in here we can set what we want the do loop to do. We also need to do in here I++ as well before we set our target in here for how many times we want it to do it. So we can do something like I less than 5, and that should, especially if you put one of them after it, get rid of all the red squiggly lines, that should then give us another, just show you the oh, I've got an error. What did I do wrong? Oh, I'm going to need to open that up a bit more. What have I done wrong there? Why done it like in I? Oh, idiot. Idiot. We need to set it to something. We can't just do it. We need to set it to something. That was a sick guy. I can't believe I'm still making errors like that after 18 months, but I am. And there we go. 0 1 2 3 4. So we're basically getting 5, because a lot of these things count from, you could change that simply by putting a 1 in the original, in the I instead of the 0, and changing the 5 to a 6 to get it to count up from 1 to 5 if you didn't want the 0 in there. And finally, because I think whilst we're on this bit here, oh look at that, exactly that. So we're going to do int j, only going to use letter J because we don't want to get them. Sometimes you should be able to use I and it won't matter, but sometimes it does get confused by it. So and this just simply does, let me change it for what I had originally, because I think that's better. So this will go from, and then this will go, we'll change that the other way around, more than 0, instead of doing plus plus we'll do minus minus. Okay, we run that and we should get a countdown from hopeless here today. For loop iteration 5 4 3 2 1. So there we go. That's some really useful bits. And if you were ever making anything, if you were making a game or anything more than, you know, something really simple, all these things are going to come into it. And believe it or not, these took me a long time. Not the while loop so much, because the very first program I started to write included a while loop on in the very first few bits, but the do loop and the for loop took me a long time to get my head around how this was working and how you could use it in these programs. And it's and even now I still make stupid mistakes like that, and I've been doing this for trying to learn C++ for 18 months, and there isn't a day that goes by where I don't learn something or make a really stupid mistake, which is all part and parcel of it. But you can find it in the debug part of it, so it's all doable. Anyhow, there we go. That's it for today. Thanks for watching if you did.